Okay, so let's set up now for the trial. The first thing we're going to do is you're going to take all of your trial defense cards and you're going to mix them up and put them face down. Now, all of our trial defense cards are a value of 1, so there's probably not going to be much of a surprise here, but we're going to go through the motions. Court marker and verdict, we're putting it right here. We can decide if we want to do a filibuster or treason, depending on what we pick. The next thing we're going to do is we have 2 little openings here. If we manage to pressure Britain, which we clearly did not do, we would add the marker here. We did, however, manage to get judicial reform. So we're going to add this just to remind us that we're going to get +1 to all of our trial rolls. Our evidence pile is going to be laid out, and we get to obviously choose our evidence. It's not going to be randomly generated. So next up, we need to figure out what we're going to charge him with, okay? What do we think he was up to? And this is where we're a little weak on this one, because we only revealed 3 out of the 6 possible conspirators: Theodosia, Andrew Jackson, and 1 of the 4 James Wilkinson cards. So what does that mean? All right, so there's this neat little chart here. Where can I put these? So I'll put them like this. Okay. And there are some clue-like deductions we can do. So number 1, we know she's out. Theodosia's out. So charge number 1 of settling the valley, definitely not going to happen. Question now, on the 3 cards, remember, these 3 conspirator cards that we put aside at the beginning of the game. If none of them are Wilkinson cards, none of them are Wilkinson cards, and are instead a combo of Blennerhaust, De Rougeau, and Jackson, blah, 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 then these are going to be what the conspiracy objective was. Okay? So we know right off the bat that Jackson is not involved. So anything that has Jackson can't be. So settling, if there's no Wilkinson card and there is a Jackson in these 3, the correct charge would be seize New Orleans. But we know Jackson's not involved. So it can't be this one. Can't be seize New Orleans. It can't be invade Spanish Southwest. And it can't be the Valley, but we'd already removed that one, if there's no Wilkinson cards. But here's what I'm thinking. 4 Wilkinson cards, we know 1 is removed. The odds are very high that there is a Wilkinson card in one of these 3. So I'm going to say Theodosia's out, and the no Wilkinson charges are also out. I'm betting at least 1, maybe 2 Wilkinson cards. I don't think there are 3 Wilkinson cards, right? That to me seems a bit high. So the coup d'etat, probably not going to happen. But I think we're somewhere in these 2 categories, all right? So if we have 1 Wilkinson card, when we know there cannot be a Jackson, so invade Spanish Florida would be out. Seize New Orleans could be out. Invade Mexico also could be out. Are there 2 Wilkinson cards? If there's 2 Wilkinson cards, it's either invade Spanish Southwest, coup d'etat, invade Mexico. This is where I hopefully more conspirators would be helpful. What do we think, guys? 1 Wilkinson card or 2? All right, so I've studied this, and really, honestly, we're just going to have to make a blind guess here. We don't have enough cards. We didn't reveal enough conspirators to really be able to single anything out except these 2, right? Anything down here really is a possibility. So let's just go for invade Spanish Southwest. That's a filibuster. And if that happens, we're looking for Blennerhaust, Mary Wilkinson. We're going to guess that that's going to be the finale. Again, just a guess. just a guess at this point. All right, so we've set our charges. We can remove these guys now. They're not in play. We have our evidence here all lined up. And how you run the trial, there's a little summary right here in the middle of the table. And basically you need 2 die. You need a blue and a red. And they give you those little tiny ones. I've obviously subbed them out. And we're going to be rolling them together and then comparing the values and submitting evidence so that the prosecution die always outweighs the defense die. So let's go ahead and get this trial started. Right, so let's go ahead and get this trial started. I'm going to roll our defense die, our prosecution die, and compare the results. Okay, so in this case, the defense is ahead by 1. So we're in what's called the argument stage. And remember, we're going to get +1 to all of our die rolls. So technically, we're tied. Okay, so we're 3-3. The problem is if the defense dice is greater than or equal to the prosecution, then the defense wins. All right, so ties goes to the defense. So even though right now we are 3-3, the defense is going to win for us, which means we have to go on and try and rebut their argument. And this means that the burden of proof is on us, the prosecution, to sway the jury. So we're going to need to play one of our evidence cards. And the only requirement is that we have to play a card that gets us above the defense value. All right, so any of our cards right now will work. And here's the secret. The defense is going to get a chance to rebut us. All right, so if we were to throw in just, let's say, the Bullman ruling, which would give us 1 point of evidence, all right, which would give us a 4 to a 3. The defense is going to get a chance to put in a piece of their evidence, which we know because of the way it worked out that all their evidence is worth 1 point. So they would tie us again, and we would have to go again and throw in a much higher value card, which would be overkill, all right? But since we know these are all going to be +1, the highest the defense is going to be able to pull out is a 4. They only get 1 chance to throw in evidence, all right? So we know that if we can put in evidence that beats a 4, we're going to win this round of, what would you call it? Trial, this round of trial. So let's go big. Let's throw in a big piece of evidence. Let's make sure we win this first point, all right? So let's take one of our, let's bring out Thomas Truxtew's testimony, all right? So this, we're gonna rebut the defense. We're gonna come out with this blinding testimony, which is gonna put us, remember we have +1, so that's gonna give us a whopping 6. So they're only at a 3 right now. So the defense, of course, is going to scramble after hearing Thomas, and they're going to return with their own English common law. It does not apply, so that's going to get them up to a +1. Okay, I guess I'll put that here. They're at a 4. Our testimony, however, is solid. They're going to get their second and last chance here, and they're going to pull out constructive treason is unconstitutional, which is also a +1. However, the judge rules against them. Their evidence is inadmissible for whatever reason. It's 5 to a 6. We're going to win the first round of trial debate. To do that, we discard all the evidence we've used on both sides. And the trial marker is going to move up when we want it to filibuster no death. So we're going to say, kapow, moved it forward 1. Round 2 of arguments. Opening arguments are, oh man, the defense is doing very well. Okay, so the defense is going to come out with 4 to our 3. So we know we're going to need something big here, and we have to throw out our 3 again. Let's just throw out a 2. Let's just throw out a 2 this time, because remember, that'll bring us above them. So let's pull out with the doctrine of constructive treason. We're going to start with that. And that's going to raise us to a 5 to their 4. So it's their turn to rebut. And they're going to pull out that the Bullman ruling does not pertain. Well, we just pulled through the Bullman ruling, okay? So now they're above us, right? They are at, oh, not above us, 5, and we're at 5, so we're tied. And remember, tie goes to the defense. All right, so we've got them now. It's our rebuttal, and we're gonna rebut with, we only need a tiny bit of evidence here to pop it up, right? So let's just go to Jacob Albright's testimony. It's not much, but it's enough to sway. So we're now sitting at 2, 3, 4, 5.5. They're sitting at 5. We win this round as well. These get discarded. And we move the progress marker up 1 more. Whoops, let's go, guys. Come on, prosecution. We need some good opening arguments. Oh my goodness. Wow, okay. This is not good. We are sitting at a 2. They are at a 4. Ooh, we have to beat them. We have to beat them. So let's pull out the big guns. We're gonna have to bring out William Eaton's testimony. Okay, so that sticks us at a 5. They're at a 4. They're gonna rebut us with their last piece here, which is gonna put them at a 5. We are also at a 5, so let's bring out the Bullman ruling. Boom. We're gonna win this round. Discard. Discard. And we move it up. Whoops, 1. Okay, last turn. But they're out of evidence. Ah. All right, so the defense has no more evidence with which to rebut us. So as long as we roll well, come on, prosecution. Let's go. No, oh my goodness. So there's nothing we can do here. They just shut us down. We have our last piece of evidence, but it's not gonna be able to get us because we're at 2, 4. There's no way we can beat them. So our trial ends. Wow, that was some horrible rolling on my part. I apologize for that, guys. So all we were able to do is get Aaron Burr censored, no death. It's gonna get us 5 victory points. And the question becomes, will we write on our conspirator guess? Probably not, but this is when we get a check. Let's see, we guessed, what did we guess? Invade Spanish Southwest. So we're guessing invade Spanish Florida. Oh, wait, hold on. Invade, oh no, I wanted Spanish Florida. I put it on the wrong one, not Spanish Southwest. It should have been here. Because we knew there, I was guessing there would be a Wilkinson card, so sorry, my bad. I wanted this one. So I was guessing it's gonna be Blenner House, Mary Wilkinson is gonna be my guess. Or it could be, oh no, that's Florida. Wait, did I have it right? Invade Spanish Florida, invade Spanish Southwest. That's right, okay, let's see. Let's see how we did here. What do we end up with? A James Wilkinson, we knew that. Oh, there were 2 Wilkinsons. It was just Wilkinson and Mary were the conspirators. Gosh, darn it. So it was down here. 2 Marys, it was invading Mexico. Oh my goodness, they were up to no good, weren't they? They were invading Mexico. So we were going for something a little higher than where it was. So we didn't get our trial correct, but we managed to censor him. We managed to censor him. And so at this point in the game, it would be, of course, now just figuring out your scoring. And for that, there's a whole little rundown here. And let me look through this and figure out how we did. All right, so the first thing we look at is how many prestige points did we remain? So we had 2 left on our track, so it's 2 victory points for us. We didn't let the plan launch. We managed to arrest and try him before this launched. So we're not gonna have to worry about losing anything from down here, which is good news. So he was arrested and he stood trial, okay. And remember, we managed here to censure him, so we get 5 victory points for that. And we managed to push our verdict up into boxes that are blue, into the positive victory point range here. So For every co-conspirator that we arrested, and we only arrested one, we are going to get, if the final verdict was censure, for every conspirator, we're going to gain 1 victory point. If we made it to 5 years, they'd each be worth 2. If we got to life, they'd each be worth 3. And if we made it to death, they'd each be worth 4. So we only get 1 extra point for that. We never got around to pressuring Britain, so we're not going to get to claim anything there, which brings us to a grand total of 8 victory points. Yeah, I know, not so impressive, right? However, believe it or not, we are a political embarrassment. We were only 1 away from making it to a minor victory. So our handling of the matter was clumsy at best, humiliating at worst. Your political opponents keep dredging up this sordid affair throughout your second term, but to little effect. So we got unlucky. We got unlucky with our rolling for the trial. We had a lot of evidence. We just rolled horribly. And we just didn't pull enough conspirator cards to really know where to put the trial marker, which is too bad. But I think all in all, it was respectable. The New Orleans plan didn't launch. We managed to actually find him in the West. So I'm gonna take my embarrassment in stride. Fun little game, lots of little moving parts. I haven't played it too much, so if there were any mistakes, please forgive me. Make a note of them. It's a victory point game, so there's lots of little rules and little exceptions to rules that are easy to miss. But I think it's a fun game. I like all of the different moving parts that you're constantly trying to balance and racing against. The launching of the track, pulling enough evidence, locating the conspirators. It's just a lot of, your attention is drawn in a lot of different directions at the same time, which is kind of fun in a solo game. Victory point game, hero of Weehawken, political embarrassment. Well, can't win them all. All right, guys, enjoy. I'll see you later.